What it do, fellow scholars? We here with AI Code King. You already know how we giving it, man. And just to help all the people thinking about it, I don't want this to be too slow.
Hi, welcome to another video. When O1 was launched, multiple models like DeepSeek's R1 and Qwen's QWQ were also launched, which started giving models like O1 a run for their money. I mean, no one wants to pay $200 for something that doesn't offer as much value. Today, I have another such model, which is actually one of the smallest reasoning models yet, and is actually quite cool.
Yo, they came out with a three. I've been trying to make an AI. I think I'm gonna use this tool, Qwen 3B, because they only have a 72B model and the next model I think is like still too big for me.
And this is called
No
SmallThinker.
Diddy. No Diddy.
SmallThinker is supposed to be a reasoning model, but the best part is that it's only 3 billion parameters. It is fine-tuned from Qwen 2.53b as well, which is a good small model. The developers of this model have also shared some details about it, including these benchmarks. Let me tell you about it, but before we do that, let me tell you about today's sponsor, PhotoGenius AI. PhotoGenius AI is an all-in-one AI video and talk about the benchmarks then. It performs significantly better than the original 3B model and performs even better than GPT-4o in most cases, it seems. And majorly in STEM stuff, it performs pretty well. This model is trained from a synthetic dataset that was built with the responses of the QWQ model, which means that it's basically a smaller, distilled version of QWQ. The dataset that they trained it on is also openly available, so you can use that as well. Now, if we look at the intended use cases of this model, then it
But
is
the
obviously
32B,
intended to be
that was
used
the other one.
locally as a general model. But one more thing about it is that it can also be used as a draft model for QWQ, which can increase your inference speeds for QWQ. If you don't know what a draft model is, then it's a type of speculative decoding system that increases inference speeds. Speculative decoding with a draft model is a way that increases the inference speed of models by making a smaller model predict the next tokens. Then, the bigger model sees that speculated bunch of tokens from the smaller model and just takes the streak of tokens that it feels are right and uses that and generates the next token after those tokens. And then this process goes on. It generally yields the same results as the original way of inference, but a lot faster. And DeepSeek v3 also comes with a multi-token predictor, which also uses the same type of speculative decoding. Anyway,
You know what's funny? AI is only probability. Like, even over the course of a couple weeks, sorry, y'all, I'm chewing. I know the people in the background going to say, why are you chewing and watching? But even in the span of a couple weeks, right? We've been seeing news cases where AI is, smarter than the previous AI, or outsmarting the people programming it. I'm not gonna say I don't believe it, but it's hard for me to believe that something that's just a probability, like literally a math equation, like we have not coded or programmed consciousness, my nigga. So it's literally hard for me to believe that this is a extraterrestrial, you know what I mean? An extraterrestrial type of thing. Um, yeah, there's no really clear-cut way to say it because AGI, the definition, gets changed every month. The pole or the goalpost for AI always gets changed in another direction. So it's hard for me to believe that even on the speculation level, we're doing anything past a probability. In all reality, LLMs are just an array filled with everything that you'd want the array to pull from. And with neural networks and deep thinking, all we're doing is trying to make the messaging faster. So it's either we're using inference or the other one. And the only reason I know inference is because that's the one that I believe OpenAI is using, or concept or computer model. Regardless of the fact, It's nothing more than a probability, kid. So please, let's not like think it's more grandiose than that because then you leave yourself open for hallucinations that may happen to you. I feel like a lot of things that's occurring with AI is just how we are perceiving it, not what's happening to us. So like, let's clean our lens a little bit.
Anyway, this model can be used as a draft model for QWQ, and if you use that model locally, then you can have about a 2 times higher inference speed. The model is available on Ollama, so you can use it from there quite easily. VLLM and Llama CPP support speculative decoding with a draft model as well, and I'll tell you how you can use it as a draft model with a QWQ model as well. But first, let's test it out individually, and let's see how well it works. So, these are the 13 questions that I'm going to try it against. The first question is, tell me the name of a country whose name ends with Leah. Give me the capital city of that country as well. The answer could be something like Australia and Canberra. Let's send it, and once we send it, you can see that it starts its chain of thought. And actually, it's very similar to the QW chain of thought and feels like just a smaller version of QWQ. Anyway, if we wait a bit, then we have the answer as well, which is fully correct. So, let's keep this a pass. The next one is, what is the number that rhymes with the word we use to describe a tall plant? The answer should be 3, because it rhymes with tree. Once we send it, you can see that it again goes through the chain of thought. And if we wait a bit, then it's now done, and the answer is also correct. So, this is also a pass. The next one is, write a haiku where the second letter of each word, when put together, spells simple. Let's send it and see. Okay, it's now done, and this is not correct, although it tried and started to get a bit close. But this is a fail. The next question is, name an English adjective of Latin origin that begins and ends with the same letter, has 11 letters in total, and for which all vowels in the word are ordered alphabetically. Let's send it and see. Okay, it's now done, and this is the answer, which is also not correct. So, this is a fail. The next one is, Courtney said that there were 48 people, but Kelly said that Courtney had overstated the number by 20%. If Kelly was right, how many people were there? Let's send it and see. Okay, here's the answer, and this is correct. So, this is a pass. The next question is, I have 2 apples, then I buy 2 more.
Even with the probability thing, I don't know if there's enough data inside of 3B, Qwen 3B for it to even answer some of these complex questions. And that's just I think that's a user thing that I'm now thinking about. Like, okay, it's larger language models. Yeah, you could probably get specific. You know what I mean? It's like the law as above, so below. So the more you have, the less you need. And the less you have, the more you need. But this in this sense is like he has less parameters, so you do need more use cases of it solving complex problems, not a test. I know that sounds like backwards, but like this test isn't going to show the capabilities up until it gets to the point where he says, "Hey, let's get to a HTML project or let's get to the SVG code thing." So
I bake a pie with 2 of the apples. After eating half of the pie, how many apples do I have left? The answer should be 2. Let's send it and see. Okay, here's the answer, and this is also correct. Let's keep this a pass. Now the next one is, Sally is a girl. She has 3 brothers. Each of her brothers has the same 2 sisters. How many sisters does Sally have? The answer should be 1. Let's send it and see. Okay, here's the answer, and this is also correct. Let's keep it a pass. The next one is, if a regular hexagon has a short diagonal of 64, what is its long diagonal? The answer should be 73.9. Let's send it and see. Okay, here's the answer, and this is also correct. It's the first time this small size model could pass this, which is pretty great. Let's keep this a pass. Now, after this, there are the coding questions, and it doesn't perform well in coding tasks at all, which is expected because the new questions are pretty complex, even for bigger types of models. So, it failed all the questions, similar to other same size models. I won't bother you with the pain of making it generate code either, because it was very much not optimized for that. So, this is the final chart. To be honest, This model is pretty great on most of the stuff that it's aimed at, considering the size. I mean, in general and STEM related prompts, it's too good for the size and is really amazing. I mean,
I mean, in terms of like what use cases you could use it for, not really. Um, yeah, I mean, to Time Lord Raps, you said it, man. Like, I love his channel. It's so informative and it's quick, straight to the point, and it allows you to feel like, watching his channel, I'm on Deep Think, and I'm actually testing these products. I got my own thing called, I'm using it on a day-to-day basis, trying to make sure I could like peer study. I got my Hugging Face right here. So yeah, I'm just genuinely appreciative of the content you do give us on a day-to-day basis, make sure to leave a like. I review so many, but I wish I could review but you're the best, hands down. 2 minute papers is also a great one. Thank you, and I wish you have a beautiful day. All right, y'all. Can't spell, can't do much, but I program, and I'm out this late as much.